Yeah. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining another video series tutorial on how to use Zeeve to manage your blockchain network. Today we are going to go through Avalanche Subnets and what Zeeve has to offer in terms of Avalanche Subnet management. So yeah, let's go through our panels here and some login screens that we've got to demonstrate to you guys that what we have presented fresh for Avalanche Subnet. As you guys are already aware, you can easily deploy your Avalanche nodes with Zeeve. You can monitor and management your individual nodes, and you can also make them part of an existing Avalanche subnet if you choose to do so. We have come up with a fresh offering onto our Zeeve panels, which is with Avalanche subnets. You can also now manage your entire subnet itself. So we have provided with a new offering, which is Avalanche Subnet Management, and that is freshly available onto every Zeeve account. If you look to your left, you would be able to find Avalanche Subnet on your left panel, and that's where you can go ahead and open this product. Of course, there are a lot of other items which Zeeve offers out of box. You can, go through our video series to understand better what our other offerings are, whether it be for Avalanche itself or whether it be for entirely different products. But yeah, this is what an Avalanche subnet list view looks like. So here I've opened a couple of subnets for you folks where you can actually see what each and every subnet card looks like onto your account. And you can easily go ahead and create a fresh subnet, or you can purchase a subscription for subnet management from these screens here. So let's say if I would want to go ahead and purchase a subnet management, you can open this by a button, and this is what you would find our offering entails. So from the top, you can see that we've got a validator management panel, which offers you validator details, accepting and rejection of requests which are coming in to join your subnet. You can upload and download the multi-party signature files in order to onboard any validators that are looking to be part of your subnet as well. So a bit of coordination between multiple owners is what you can expect to take place through this panel, and we'll go through each and every offering here. We've also got blockchain configuration management, minting of tokens, adding removal of contract deployers, so you can do transactions to further add contract deployers and also transactors of your subnet. And you can also change the fee configurations for your subnet as well. That's something that we'll see more of. And regarding the rewards and the native token wins, you can see the historical transaction views and, of course, two more transactions there itself. And for accounts, we are providing a proper management dashboard where you can whitelist more and more accounts as admins or enablers for that very pre-compile. And you can monitor those accounts from one consolidated screen. So that's something that we'll also look at. Similarly, we have node infrastructure management where we've got tracking of all the nodes in, all the validators which are generally as part of your subnet, but also the nodes that you own yourself. You should be able to uh, drill deep into the to the node, monitor those nodes in terms of system metrics and blockchain metrics and such. And talking about monitoring, of course, we have a very sophisticated, rich monitoring available for each and every Avalanche node that you manage through Zeeve, which has a lot of alerts and notifications as part of it as well, something that we'll look into a bit later. So this is how you can contact for the to get initiated with your subnet management. What we'll do is that we'll look into how a subnet really looks like when you are managing it through Zeeve. So I've got two panels here. I'll first go through the Avalanche subnet panel. So this is an example subnet that we have put together. And as you can see here from the very first dashboard, this is the overview of the subnet, where you have general details, the name of the subnet, the network, the EVM machine, the VM ID, blockchain ID, such general details. And then you've also got the chain info, what is the latest block of this network, what is the base fees, the number of control keys that you've got configured, and the cloud information of where all of this is currently running. We can set the subnet management without having to take ownership of any nodes. So let's say if you have got an existing network that you're running for your Avalanche subnet, you don't have to look to migrate anything as part of the setup. We can plug in subnet management dashboard onto your existing setup itself without requiring any much change. There is a setup installation of our client tool that will be running in parallel to your setup, and through that we'll be able to provide you all this information and all the management that comes with it. So this is the general information. You can also see what kind of precompilers do I have enabled on this very subnet, and then also what validators are part of my subnet here, along with their staking time, their uptime, the state AVAX, weight, and the syncing status and such. Down below, you can also see the alerts which will pop up for your subnet or your individual nodes, which you are running while being managed through Zeeve. So for validator management, we can see that we've got a couple of components here again, where you can first see the control keys which are part of your setup. These control keys are important to allow onboarding of new validators or removal of existing validators. And so there's a voting mechanism that is usually in place. You can have two control keys, you can have four, you can have as many as you want. And of course, there's a voting mechanism as well, which requires you to have threshold amount of signatures in order to push a proposal through. So you can see here that I've got two control keys and I've only got threshold of one. But let's say if I had a threshold of two, every proposal that I would have to onboard any validator would require signature from two keys, which are, let's say, managed by a ledger-based wallet, which is a standard way of doing so in Avalanche Subnet. So what we have for this purpose is you've got an upload-download mechanism here, where you can sign the proposals using your ledger wallet keys, and whether it be MetaMask, it's all the same, doesn't matter really. You can upload those signed proposal from here itself, and later on, once you have uploaded the signed proposal, the other party in the same uh, governance control can download that signed file from here. They can provide their signature on top of it, and they can basically perform the coordination that is required from the screen here itself. You can see the validators which are part of my network. So there are only two validators which are part of the whole network, as I can see here. I can see the staked amount as well, and the weight of each and every validator also. This is a test net, so that's why you see the staked amount as 1 AVAX. But that should be different for different validators as they stake differently. And below here, you can see the validator joining request. So you can expect that Zeeve is not only to help you manage your subnet, but it also eases the burden of allowing other parties to join your subnet as well. Whether it be an individual or an institution, you can expect the user experience to be very seamless when they are looking to join your subnet. So let's say if I'm a user and I want to hold a validator which is staked onto AVAX, of course, but also present as a staking validator on an existing subnet, I can choose to do that by coming onto Zeeve portal here. I can just do a couple of clicks, deploy my node, and select the subnets that I would like to be part of. So it's fully automated. That is already something that we've shown in the previous demonstration, but that is something that we provide in a very uh, uh, user-oriented manner where everything is fully automated. So this is what a validator joining request looks like. Once you deploy your node with Zeeve, being part of a subnet, it will be visible here to the subnet owner, which is this panel here. And subnet owner, based on the request, he can see the request, he can look the validator up into the Explorer, and they can also look at some various parameters which are important before onboarding this very validator. So here I can see the node ID, I can see the owner name, the owner email, whoever has signed up to be part of the subnet itself. I can also see the staking of the on the mainnet, and I can accept it as by clicking on add as validator, or I can also reject this request. Of course, I can also see it on the Explorer just to get more assurances of whether this validator is good enough for me to add on the subnet or not. If it's a private subnet, even more reason to be a bit more particular about your expectations of who this validator should be before you let it in to your subnet. So this is how a validator management dashboard looks like. You can, of course, onboard your validators, and the good part is, as I mentioned, the user facing bit, which allows users to onboard onto your subnet in just a couple of clicks without having to worry about any technical nuances. Similarly, we've got blockchain management. Now, based on the precompiles that you uh, enable onto your subnet, you can see that you'll have various panels for those precompiles itself. So, like for fee, you can see that these are the details of fee manager contract, and I've got some transactions that I've done for it to update my fee configurations. If I would take you to an existing subnet which is um, running publicly of one of our customers, you can see that this is a subnet of Remedy PII. And here again, you've got various general details. You can see that currently it has only one validator on this testnet again. And you can see that I've got a few more precompiles enabled in this case with the number of admins which are present here. If I look at the blockchain configuration, I can see that the precompiles which are enabled again pop up in this case. And for first precompile for native tokens, you can see that I've got a lot of mint transactions where I have, with my admin enabled wallet, I have been able to mint tokens. So we have a panel where you can mint the tokens very easily from also, where you can just enter the account address that you wish to put down. You can put down the amount and you can just sign the transaction with your wallet as well. So this is a fully managed dashboard. You hold the private keys and you can use it to mint the tokens from here itself. And you can also see all the historical transactions that are present there of minting of tokens itself. So you can expect that anybody who's looking to join your subnet also would require this information for visibility purposes. So we make sure that whatever is present for that very subnet in terms of information, we are also able to show it to any user who's looking to be part of that subnet as well. The idea should be that me as a user looking to be part of the subnet or looking to perform staking on it should have good information of what I'm getting into. And these screens, the historical mints and all the transactions, all the configurations on chain and the reward distribution and such allow me to have good amount of comfort of knowing exactly what I'm getting involved in. So this is the transactions, and of course you can see each and every um, transaction here onto the dedicated explorers. We have a fully white labeled explorer offering to any customers who look for it. But if you've got your own existing explorer, you can also expect that we can plug that in directly here, so you can have a quick connect between your management dashboard and your existing explorer. For deployer management, so here you can actually whitelist the addresses, the accounts which are allowed to deploy a smart contract onto your subnet. So this can be controlled strictly. Only the addresses who are allowed would be shown here with the details of the transaction ID of whitelisting that address, uh, when was it whitelisted, which account was it whitelisted by, and you can again view the details of that account as which is allowed to deploy the smart contracts. And again, you can, with your admin account, you can also whitelist more contract deploys from here itself. So it's just in a click. And similarly for transactor management, you can also maintain an allow list for that. of the accounts who are allowed to deploy, who are allowed to perform the transactions over your subnet. So you can control that bit as well with transactors management. Currently, it is disabled into this subnet. That's why you don't see it here. This precompile is not currently enabled. But if your subnet has it enabled, then this will pop up as well. Then in terms of fee settings, you can expect that you'll have all the general details pulled out here. Again, this is important for you to have an eye on as a subnet owner, but also for any user who's looking to be part of your subnet may benefit from this by knowing again what they are getting into, what this subnet is configured with. You can see all the transactions which are present here for fees. So whenever you change a fee setting, so you can do it by a button here by clicking on it. You can change the values very easily for the gas, the new updated gas, or the target block rate. Update the parameters only which you want to update, and you can click on sign, perform the signature of the transaction, and it will be submitted to your subnet directly. So once you sign and submit, after that, that transaction will be visible here, and it will also update your fee configuration on this panel. So this is an important bit. Often it is quite difficult to otherwise manage and monitor your setup interval configuration, and to your users, it is usually a black box. So that is a kind of visibility it can provide. Then going beyond that, we also have reward configuration management, where you can see the reward uh, configuration which is present on chain onto your subnet itself, with whether you'd like to have the fee recipients present, and if yes, what is the rewardee or the validator that you want to configure it for. For example, you can change the methodology of who you'd like to provide this reward to. So you can allow it to be received to a recipient address, or you can disable the rewards altogether. You can choose whichever you'd like to have, and you can update it very easily also. Similarly, for rewards, you can actually choose a rewardee address, and if it is in case of validators, the reward will go directly to the validators itself. And all the transitions that you do to update the reward configuration will again be visible down here, which is fully timestamped, and you can also see which admin performed that update onto your reward configurations. And lastly, in blockchain configurations, you can also see the Genesis block of your network. Any user, any public user, or you yourself can come and download your Genesis file to use it offline outside the platform as well. So this is a quick view of the Genesis, and also you can use it for offline purposes. And then you have My Nodes section. So this is a dashboard which allows you to manage and monitor your each and every node of Avalanche. If you've seen my previous tutorials of Avalanche, you would know that we allow a detailed view and management and monitoring of your Avalanche nodes. And this is all the same. If you've got validators of your own, they will pop up here. And if you've got any full nodes running as well, they'll pop up here as well. You can see some high-level details of the endpoint because there's an RPC node. See the block height of it and the blockchain status of the node also. You can drill down to each and every node. This is again something I've covered in my previous tutorials, but we have given a facelift to Avalanche nodes as well to make it a bit more clean for viewing purposes, where you can see the details of what is going on into this node. This is the name of your node, the network type, the blockchain status, the node ID, VM ID, and such. You can see the cloud configuration. So what is this node running on? You can see the RPC details. You can see the curl request through which you can connect to your node very easily. The subnets that your Avalanche node is part of. So this is, we've come from a subnet to open a blockchain node, the Avalanche node. And within the node itself, you can expect that the node is also part of multiple subnets at the same time. All of the subnets which your node is part of will be visible here in this listing. And then you can also see the alerts which might have popped up to your node, so to be always aware of what's going on onto this node itself. You can also view at the monitoring of your full node. So if I click on analytics button here, you can see that I've got various metrics which are popping up right now. So Zeeve monitors metrics of two categories, system metrics and blockchain metrics. The first tab here represents all the system metrics, and they are pretty much CPU, memory, network I/O, disk usage, and parameters like that. While you have blockchain parameters which are covered in blockchain panels. So Avalanche main chain, X chain, P chain, C chain, and Avalanche subnets. These are all panels which are specific to blockchain metrics. So if I open the Avalanche main chain, then you can see the various metrics which are general. And of course, this is good for knowing if your node is healthy, performing well, but also for benchmarking purposes of whether your node is able to provide the performance that your application requires. Based on these parameters, we also throw out alerts. So let's say if your peer count drops below a certain threshold, then we are able to issue alerts saying that this is looking unhealthy, and this will be presented to you, but also to our support team who can jump directly in. Similarly, we've got a lot of other panels as well, are dedicated to each and every chain. So X, P, and C supported by Avalanche. We can find that we have panels available for all of them. And this is a panel which is specific to your Avalanche subnet. Your subnet may have multiple blockchains as part of it, which you can toggle from here. And for that very blockchain, you can see all the metrics which are exported and fetched for your monitoring purposes here itself. And again, based on every metric that we show here, whether it be system metrics like CPU, memory, disk usage, and such, or whether it be any blockchain parameter, we're able to issue alerts automatically onto your account. You can view a detailed version of these alerts on this panel here, where you can drill down on each and every alert. But you can also look at these alerts onto your email channel. So these alerts will also be routed onto your email. We also have the ability to configure your messaging channel. So you can connect your MS Team account or Slack channel or Telegram group with Zeeve very easily in just a couple of clicks. Or if you would like to use your mobile application, we also have our Zeeve mobile app present for both iOS and Android at the same time. So you can be on top of your deployments at all times for your monitoring panels or alerts and notifications that Zeeve has to provide to you. So you can also download this mobile app for that purpose. And lastly, we also provide logging for the purpose of your for your node. So this is the logs which have been generated in the last 5 minutes, where you can choose the timestamp and you can go to the logs of how this node is currently responding or behaving. So this is something that we offer, and the idea behind the whole subnet, of course, is that your management should be easier, and management has a big need for monitoring of node at all time, and that is what we are offering with the monitoring panels there. Uh, Similarly, you have also got the infra details of the knowledge of which node is running on which specs of machine. So you're always aware of the setup itself, and if you upscale, downscale, it will also be able to update here. So this is just a visibility panel for your subnet operator. And lastly, we've got account management, where you can actually manage all your accounts which are important for your subnet management. You can expect to add more and more operators, whether it be admin or enablers, by this click here. You can put down the address. You can choose which precompiles would you like to onboard this address for, and you can choose the role, whether it be admin or enabler, and just perform a signature with your admin wallet itself, and that will allow a new wallet to be onboarded as part of your subnet management. So these are existing accounts, as you can see here, and you can see that every account has an address which you can see from here. You can see what are the various roles that this account is serving. You can see the blockchain name to which this wallet role is associated with, and you can also see the recompiles which are uh, on which this is playing these roles on. So these are the precompiles on which this account is playing a role on, and the roles as well. So this account is an admin on fee manager. It's an admin to native minting. It's a admin to reward manager and such also. And the chain type, which is EVM, you can see the balance of this account also onto your subnet, and the balance on Avalanche as well. So you've got zero balance in AVAX, but you've got about 100 tokens onto your native token. Similarly, you've got multiple accounts here itself, and you can even choose to add more and more operators from here on. This is a typical management flow of how it looks like, but of course, we've got more in terms of how the onboarding process really happens from the user side that you can always look for. Once the user goes and deploys their Avalanche node, they automatically are visible to the subnet owner, whoever is handling their management dashboard from here, and they can choose to accept reject requests from this panel here. So this is what subnet management looks like. We understand the problem of Avalanche ecosystem when it comes to operational challenges and operational effort that goes into doing certain things. And we are adding more and more features into our subnet management here as we get more and more feedback from our customers. And we're looking to streamline a bit more around validator onboarding, as well as we are looking to provide a bit more uh, in terms of configuration management itself, where you can also delete and remove certain accounts and wallets as well, which have been previously associated. As well as we're looking to provide some features in terms of upscaling, downscaling machines, and yeah, there are a couple of more points. So you might want to always have a close ear onto what we are doing regarding our subnet. We would very much like to hear from you folks of how this is helpful to you, or what would you like to have here, uh, which would be an improvement to our subnet management. So yeah, that's it for today, and hope you guys like what we had to offer, and we'll continue to add more and more value to our knowledge ecosystem such as this. Thanks a lot. I would appreciate if you guys would follow us into our communication channels, our social media presence, where we are present on LinkedIn or on Telegram, on Instagram. We're also present on uh, a lot of other social media platforms as well. Follow us on Twitter, perhaps, if you fancy that, and have a close ear onto what we are doing. We're also excited to launch a lot of other products outside Avalanche as well. If you have any need for any of those, you can go through our existing video series that we have published on YouTube as well. So thanks a lot for your time, and I'll see you next time. Yeah. Bye.